Okay, 5th class, open up on page 69 of your Busy at Maths, right? So today we're doing some renaming of fractions, right? So if we want to rename, for example, a mixed fraction, okay, so we have, for example, 3 and 1/4. So what do we know this 3 means? This 3 means we have 3 4/4s, right? So you have 3 4/4. Okay? So we can't put them up there because that's an improper fraction. So we have to make a mixed fraction with a whole number and a proper fraction, right? So this 3 here means these 3 4s, right? So if we want to change this back into an improper fraction, sorry, what could we do? So we want to change it back into an improper fraction. So if we want to change it back into an improper fraction, we have to add on these 4s back into the fraction. So we know we keep the 4 at the bottom the same. The quarter at the bottom always stays the same, but we have to add on to the top, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4s. So that's how many altogether? 12. So we have to add 12 onto the top. So if we add 12 onto the top, we get 13. 13 over what? What do we say remains the same? The denominator, right? So it's 13 over 4. So that's how we rename, alright? So we're going to go over to here. And we have our fractions here. So if we have 2 and 5/12, what does that change to? So we're going to change it to 1 and 17/12 because we have a 1 down here. So we put our 1 down here and 9 over 12. We can just take away those 1s, right? So that makes it much easier for us. Okay, but if we want to change it all the way, we could. So how did we make that 17? How did we make that? We had to take one of these 2, so these change into 12 over 12 and 12 over 12. So we took away one of them and added it back into here. So we added on 12 to the top and got 17. Right, we got 17. So, okay, so we got 17 up there and we got 1 for other mixed fraction. So now we have to take away 17 and 9. So we're trying to take away 9 from the 17. We don't touch the bottom because we're still looking for parts of something. So the parts remain the same. We don't take away the 12s, alright? So they stay the same the whole time. But this one here, so we have to take away 9 from 17. And what's that? 8. So our answer is 8 over 12, right? Over here, if we want to do the same thing. So we have 2 and 3/11ths, and we change that to 1 and 1 and 14th. Okay, so how can we change this now? Again, to something else. So how can we change this to a improper fraction? So we have our 7 over 11. That goes over here. Okay, so can we take away our 1 again? No. So our 1 goes down here. So we've nothing to take away from the 1. And if we take away our 7 from our 14, what do we get? 7, don't we? 7 over 11. Now, we have 1 and 7/11ths. So 1 and 7/11ths. How can we change that into a proper fraction or an improper fraction? What can we do? So we have 1 here. This 1 stands for what? This 1 stands for 11 over 11. So if we were to add on our 11 onto the top, what will we get? We will get 18 over 11, right? Okay, so we should all get that. That's fairly simple, right? So do all those questions and we go on to 2 here. So we're subtracting fractions and mixed numbers that have different denominators, right? So they have different numbers on the bottom, right? So for example, we have 2/3 here. What do we know from our fraction was equal to 2/3? 4/6, don't we? So how we got that is we said So 2/3. If we multiply both to get an equivalent fraction, what's 2 by 2? 4. What's 3 by 2? 6. So you get 4/6. So we use this to find the equivalent fractions. What if we multiply by 3/3? What will we get? So 2 by 3 is 6. 3 by 3 is 9. So it could be, we can use this format to get any equivalent fraction that we want. Now what do we need on the bottom though? We need something on the bottom. We need 6. So what's our answer? 4/6, alright? So 4/6, we take those away. So how do we take away 4 from 7? We get 3/6, right? So over here then, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, so we got 1 and we got 1/4. 1 and 1/4 minus 1/2. So how can we change halves into quarters? What can we do to the 2 to get the 4? Okay, so if we have a half and we want to multiply it by something to get something over 4, what can we do to 2 to get to 4? We multiply by 2. And we know if we do something to the bottom, we have to do it to the top. So if we multiply by 2 on the bottom, we have to multiply by 2 on the top. So 2 by 2 is 4, 1 by 2 is 2. Right? So our answer down here should be 2/4. Okay? And now we have to take away 2/4 from 5/4. So what's 5 minus 2? 3, isn't it? Does the bottom change? No. The bottom doesn't change because we're still looking for fractions of something. Right? So do those as well. And then we have one more question. Sorry, 2 more questions. So I want you to now rename these. So like in the first question, so we have to do it twice now. So say for example on this one, can we change 1 and 1/4 into 8ths? So can we change 1 and 1/4 into 8ths? So if we have 1 and 1/4, what's that as an improper fraction? It is 5/4. Now if we have 5/4 as our improper fraction, how can we get that to 8ths? What can we do to this number to get to 8? We can multiply by 2. If we multiply the bottom by 2, what do we do to the top? Multiply that by 2. And what do we get? 10. Right, so 10/8. So this is 10/8. And now what do we know this is? So we know there's 8 on the bottom. What's on the top? So we have 2 8/8s because we've got a whole 2 there. So 8 plus 8 plus 7 because we add everything onto the top. So we've got 2 8s from here. That's 16 plus 7 is 23. Okay, so 23/8 minus 10/8. So what's on our top? 13 over, and what's the number on the bottom? Does it change? No, 13/8. Right? So you have to do this for this one and this one, right? So you have to try to put them into the same denominator and then take them away, alright? So you should be able to do this, right? If you have any problems, contact me in Class Dojo, okay?